This is a forum for the finalist candidates vying to be nominated to replace Congressman Tim Johnson, who's retiring, and the actual vote will be next Saturday. So this is an opportunity for us to give the voters of Champaign County an opportunity to listen to the candidates, to have a chance to ask questions. We've gotten quite a few questions, and just allow you guys to be part of the process. So first, as our tradition is, I'd like to mention the elected officials or those who's running for offices that have registered. So if I don't call your name, I'm sorry. I'll ask you if you're to wave your hand or whatever, but I'm going to go by who registered. Sherry Brown is the chairman of DeWitt County Republican Party. Wave Sherry wherever you are. Back there. Gordy Hulton, current Champaign County clerk and running for re-election. Jim McGuire running for County Board 4. Joan Dykstra, Savoy Village Board. Bruce Pillsbury, Macon County chairman of the Republican Party in Macon County. Sherry and Bruce are part of the group for people voting, so welcome to Champaign County for Berkeley. Brendan McGinty, City Board, W.C. Ackerman, Finney Branch Commissioner, J.J. Farney, candidate for County Auditor, Katie Blakeman, candidate for City Clerk. And also, so you guys know that we are open to everybody. Just like I said in the press releases, we're open to everybody. Say hello to Vice Chairman of the Champaign County Democratic Party, Ava. Where are you, Ava? Back
hello. Yes, actually, I'm not the vice chair. I'm Miss Management. I'm the volunteer manager of the office, and it's nice to meet all of you guys.
Very good. And is it Michael Richards? Is Michael Richards with you?
No, he isn't.
He is? He's not?
No, he's not.
Very good. Well, welcome to all the elected officials. I would like to give you the agenda and the format. We're going to allow each candidate to speak. And, Stephanie Holderfield, Champaign County Board. You walked in late. Sorry about that. Who did I not mention? Anybody want to wave their hand? The agenda and format. I had said originally 5 minutes for each, and I've been to a couple of forums, and I watched the candidates speak for 15 minutes, and they did a great job without redundancy. So we're going to give each candidate alphabetically 15 minutes to speak. After that, I'll come up, and they'll come up with me and stand here, and we'll ask questions that have been submitted. And I'll allow a person to answer, and then other people to answer as well. And I'll rotate so not one person is always on the hot seat. So I'm trying to make this fair for everybody. Not a debate, no gotcha questions, hard questions nevertheless, but no gotcha questions. So just to give you guys a chance to hear them. We'll rotate the answers, and we'll go from there. So right now, I'm going to allow the candidates to speak for 15 minutes each, and forgive me if I kind of wave at you when it starts becoming 15 if you're going long, but I'll be fair to everybody. So we'll start with Jerry Clarke, and I'm going to ask each candidate, instead of me introducing them, they usually introduce themselves and tell about themselves, so I'm going to let them do it without me introducing them. Come on up, Jerry.
I'm Jerry Clarke. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce my wife, who's here with me tonight. Lenny, can you stand up? Yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone. We have 4 kids, so tomorrow's a special day in our house. My name is Jerry Clarke. I live here in Urbana, Illinois. I was born and raised in Sangamon County, which is another big part of this district. My father was a Korean War veteran. He was a Marine over in the Korean War, and he came back to Central Illinois to raise his family. Him and my mother got married. They had 6 children, and I'm the last of the 6 kids. He started a small business in Springfield, an auto parts store. Tragically, he passed away when I was 9 years old, but he taught all of us kids the importance and the value of service to our families, our church, our communities, and to our country. So we all took that away from there. I graduated from Pawnee High School and came over to the University of Illinois and got a degree in agriculture economics. My mother passed away when I was 21.
My hand is really shaking. You sure you
And
don't want to
while
take
I was
it?
at the University of Illinois, I joined the
Sit
ROTC
here.
and went to the United
That's
States
an
Army
idea.
after I got the commission. I spent a couple years learning to fly helicopters for the United States Army, and then I moved back to Springfield, Illinois, and got a job with the House Republican staff. I started out as a driver for the House Republican staff, and 12 years later, I ended as the Director of Policy for the House Republicans. In that time frame, we did a lot of great things. We did Chicago school reform. We rolled back the gas taxes. But the two things that I'm most proud of that I worked on personally was the anti-stalking bill and the anti-carjacking bill. I got a quick story about the anti-carjacking bill. I was a young staffer at the time. It was in the early 90s, and there was a senator from Chicago, from the inner city, who was a Democrat, who called me up on the phone, and his secretary did, and said that he wanted to see me. So I called my boss first, and it was Emil Jones. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he called me up, and he wanted to see me, and I called my boss, and I said, hey, Senator Jones wants to see me. And the first thing he said is, what have you done? Like, I don't know. So I went to see him, and he told me a story about, he got up at 7 o'clock one morning and on a Sunday morning, he didn't want to wake his kids up. So he went down to the local gas station and got the papers, and he had a 1955 convertible Chevy. And he was sitting in his driveway reading the papers, and he got carjacked in his driveway. And so the reason he wanted to see me is he wanted to sponsor the bill in the Senate, which he did, and it passed. And that's how we got it was called vehicular hijacking at the time, but today we know it as carjacking. After I left the House Republican staff, I went with Congressman Tim Johnson out to Washington, D.C. to be his chief of staff. So I worked for Tim for 10 years. I started his office up here throughout the district that we're in now. And I was his chief of staff, so I was in charge of both the Washington, D.C. office and the office here in the district. Tim has done a lot of great things. He was a mentor to me. The thing I think I'm most proud of is the constituent service program that Tim continues today. I helped Congressman Johnson set that constituent service program up, and I can tell you if I get the nomination that I will continue the same constituent service program that Tim Johnson runs today. It's just as important. There's a lot of big issues out there, but if you have a Social Security case that has not been adjudicated right, that is just as important to people as the war over in Iraq or Afghanistan. So I will commit to you that I will continue. The reason I'm running for Congress, or I'm trying to get the nomination, is because of my 4 children. The out-of-control spending out in Washington, D.C. has to stop. And every American wants the same thing. My wife and I, as parents, we want the same thing as our parents want. We want our children to do better than we've done. And I think that time is coming to an end. If we don't fix Washington, D.C., our kids and their kids will be drowning in debt will be caused. And I think that has to stop. The important issues for this district, the number one issue is obviously jobs. We need to bring more jobs back, and we do that. We bring jobs back by taking the regulation off of small businesses. As we travel around the district, the small business people are telling us that, what would it take to add one more job? They all say, get the government off of our backs, and we can add one more job. So I think they need stability. Agriculture is a huge issue in this district. Right now, we're in the midst of a farm bill that we do every 6 to 7 years. I think that's going to flow over into next year. I'd like to work on that, on the farm bill. Our farmers, there's a lot of regulation on our farmers, and every time that we pass a new regulation to a farmer, that comes directly out of his pocket because he's got no way to pass that cost on. Transportation is a big issue in this district. also defense, a strong national defense. I believe we have to have a strong national defense. That is what keeps America safe. The University of Illinois is obviously a huge issue, especially here in Champaign-Urbana. It's the flagship university. I will work with the university to continue to get research dollars for our university. And then there's local issues. I know Congressman Johnson got the clover leaf